Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Today we are going to have Her Grace Radha Vinodini Mataji to enlighten us on the topic of approaching Krishna from CC Adi Leela, 17th chapter. I think the verse numbers are 72 to 74. Right, Mataji? Hare Krishna. Mataji, please, my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving your time and association to all of us. Thank you so much, Mataji. Please take over the call, Mataji. I'm not little feeling well today, so please excuse my voice, Mataji. Sorry, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. So I will just share the screen. So this verse today is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 17, verses 74 to 76. And actually, I spoke about this yesterday on a morning class, which was also for very, very beginner devotees. So it won't be so philosophy, but I think it's also nice to approach this from this point of view. So I hope it will be useful. So, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sagane Sachiregiya Kaila Ganga Snana Bhaktira Mahimatahan Karila Vyakyana. Srila Prabhupada's translation. Without even removing his garments, Lord Chaitanya took a bath in the Ganges with his companions. There he explained the glories of devotional service. Jnana karma yoga dharme nahe Krishna vasha hetu eka prema bhakti rasa. Srila Prabhupada's translation. By following the paths of speculative philosophical knowledge, fruitive activity, or mystic yoga to control the senses, one cannot satisfy Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Unalloyed devotional love for Krishna is the only cause for the Lord's satisfaction. And the last verse. Okay, I don't know actually the melody for this one. Na sadhyati mam yogo, na sankyam dharma uttava, na svadhyayas tapastyago, yata bhaktir mamorjita. Srila Prabhupada's translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna said, "My dear Uttava, neither through Ashtanga Yoga, the mystic yoga system to control the senses, nor through impersonal monism or an analytical study of the absolute truth, nor through study of the Vedas, nor through austerities, charity, or acceptance of sannyas can one satisfy me as much as by developing unalloyed devotional service unto me." Srila Prabhupada's purport. Karmis, Gyanis, Yogis, Tapasvis, and students of Vedic literature who do not have Krishna consciousness simply beat around the bush and do not get any final profit because they have no clear knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor do they have faith in approaching Him by discharging devotional service, although everywhere such service is repeatedly emphasized, as it is in this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 14, verse 20. The Bhagavad Gita 18:55 also declares, Bhaktyam mama vichanati yavan yaschasmi tatvataha. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by one can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. If one wants to understand the Supreme Personality factually, he he must take to the path of devotional service and not waste time in profitless philosophical speculation, fruitive activity, mystic yogic practice, or severe austerity and penance. Elsewhere in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verse 5, the Lord confirms klesho dikataras tesham avyaktasakta chetasam. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. People who are attached to the impersonal feature of the Lord are obliged to take great trouble, yet nevertheless they cannot understand the absolute truth. As explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse 11, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Shabdyate. Unless one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original source of both Brahman and Paramatma, one is still in darkness about the absolute truth. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Chamani Swami Niti Namine. So these verses actually again speak about such topics which we can hear a lot from Bhagavad Gita. That there are so many different processes we can follow, but Krishna is not really satisfied when we engage ourselves in karma yoga, jnana yoga, and any other processes. So the verse is Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 17 and verses 74 to 76. So I thought that I would speak a little bit about what would we feel actually if someone approached us the way we sometimes approach Krishna. And just to start a little bit, I would like to mention a story which happened to me just last week. I was going to the temple, and it's an hour of travel from my home to the temple, including some travel on a suburban railway line. And when I was sitting on that suburban railway, sorry, that train, a little bit in front of me, there sat a boy, and at one point he just turned totally towards me, and with his phone in his hand, and I was just sitting like, oh my God, does he really take a picture of me, or what happens? And as I'm a woman, immediately I started to think that oh, how do I look? Surely he's taking a picture because I look so strange, or when did I wash my hair? What happened? I started to think that I look some extreme way, in my sort of Vaishnava dress or something like that. That's the reason that he's taking a photo of me, or maybe it will be even put somewhere on internet that, oh, look what strange kind of people are there in the world. And I really felt not so good, let's say this. And he just turned back, and then I could see the screen of his phone. and I was just looking at the screen that while he was switching between the pictures he made previously, if I will be amongst those pictures. And after some time, I realized that actually all of those pictures are taken of himself. So probably what happened was that he didn't turn towards me, but he turned in a way that when he takes a picture of himself, the background would be better in some way. So the story was interesting though, because I just realized that whatever happened in this situation was that I have my small little world with the center, with me in the center. And immediately when he turned towards me, I thought that, oh, it's about me, it's about myself. And actually what happened that he also has his small little world and in the middle, actually, there is himself. So we all of us have our small world, and usually, actually, we are in the center of these worlds. And you know, at some point in our lives, there are more fortunate who have this change in the beginning, others later in their times, when we hear that, oh, actually, the center of this world should be that there is also God, there is Krishna. And, you know, we are in this world, we were in the center, and we just have to decide where to put Krishna in this world. Because we should know that actually the right place for him is the center where I am actually right now. So I should decide that if I want to give this place to him and properly receive him in my world, or just leave him somewhere in that circle. And the problem is that when we want to stay in the middle of this circle, and we don't want to exchange, change our positions, then we start to reciprocate with Krishna in a way, the same way we reciprocate with others. But the problem is that our relationships are many times not based on higher principles. So, you know, there are, this is the reason for we are sometimes so selfish, we are, you know, angry, we lie, we gossip, and so many other things, because we are in the center and others are on the other parts of this circle. And if we don't place Krishna in the center, then we will reciprocate with him the same way we do it with others. If we are willing to give up this position in the center, and we are willing to give up this to him, then we will approach him in a different way. Because in that case, we will know that, okay, we have to reciprocate with him based on higher principles. And fortunately, this also affects our other relationships too. So we will reciprocate with others also on higher principles based on these other people's connection and relationship with Krishna. So actually, so with our relationship with Krishna is also a relationship like we have with others. And there are some similar attributes to it. And so I just thought that I would come up with some examples, what it means in our day-to-day lives, in our relationships, when we are engaged in relationships which are like karma yoga, like jnana yoga. And when we approach someone in this way, what the other person would feel, or what we would feel if someone approaches us with these mentalities. So let's start with karma yoga. Actually, I was thinking that many times it happens that, there is a child, he has a PlayStation, and he has one friend who is always visiting him. And in the afternoon after school, they are playing together on the PlayStation and having a nice time. So they are very close friends, and they're just playing. And imagine that on one day, the PlayStation is broken. And the parents doesn't have money to buy a new one or to have this one repaired. So what happens? Maybe it happens that the friend just starts to not come so much after all, because it was so nice to play on the PlayStation together, but others also have PlayStations or something like that. So just he starts to feel that okay, I will go somewhere else. So imagine this boy's situation. What would you feel if you were him? Because I would feel that I was abandoned, I was cheated. This friendship wasn't real after all. I would feel that there was no real love in this relationship, that I was just used for the others' enjoyment. And actually, this happens when we approach Krishna the same way, that we just desire to have his facilities. We want to enjoy his energies, and it can happen in many ways. I remember that quite many years ago, I had one aunt who just told me that, oh, imagine I just bought a lottery ticket, and I promised to God that if I win, then I will give some charity to the temple so they can, I don't know, repair the temple tower or paint the temple. I don't remember these details, but anyway, so they can repair something on the temple. And she was a Christian, a Catholic, and anyway, so if you think about it, Krishna doesn't really need us if he wants something to be repaired. So why would he do it? Why should he think that this is for him? Because I win $1,000 and I offer 500 of it. So it's not real love, and we cannot really cheat Krishna in this way. He's in our hearts. He sees everything, that we just want some profit and use him to get that profit, some benefits. And also another story showing this principle. I had one friend many years ago. This friendship started even before I became a devotee. But after some time, I became a devotee. And, I just shared my experiences with her, and she was listening to it. And at some point, she just shared her feelings. And she said that, oh, I thought that while following this religion, after some time, you will find some boyfriend, husband, or someone in this community, and you will just dig together the soil in Krishna Valley, New Brajadam. But your life is not towards this direction. So so she just shared that she thought that I was doing some nonsense thing. And actually, it was the end of this friendship, because I really felt that I wasn't understood. But the main point of this story is that, if I found someone whom I could share my life with, then in this case, it would have been acceptable for her. Which means that, if God gives me a husband, boyfriend, someone, then okay, it's okay to follow God and live a religious life. But in any other case, why by doing it. And it's also nicely illustrating how we want to use God. And if he doesn't give us his energies, he doesn't give us enjoyment, then it's not so interesting anymore. And it's totally the same attitude, like, not going to my friend anymore because he doesn't have a PlayStation. So this is karma yoga. This is how it feels, something of it, how it feels for Krishna, because actually with him, we do it on a much greater scale, because, we again and again abandon him, and so many so many people of this world, so many souls are doing this to him. So in this case, it's even more painful what he has to tolerate. The other thing which is mentioned is Jnana Yoga. So I don't know how you studied these literatures in schools, but in Hungary, many times we had these classes, and analyzing some poems and essays. And many times there was this phrase that, yeah, the poet was thinking this and that and that. And there was one story of one Hungarian poet who once read in a book someone analyzing his poems, and just wrote in the book something like, I didn't think about that. I wasn't thinking that. So it's actually a nice story about what it means that we like to speculate a lot. So sometimes it's like this, like on literature classes, but in our day-to-day lives, for example, we are all the time speculating what the other person might feel, what he may be thinking, what might be his mentality, his attitude, his reasoning, and many times we use this for judging, and actually don't even question the other person. And this might be sometimes based on some knowledge, like when we are analyzing poems, we know much about the poet's life, and based on that we make conclusions. But many times it leads to this impersonal attitude. It can also happen. I've heard about it sometimes, that even devotees, when one devotee loses his or her family member who is passing away, and sometimes devotees don't understand the feeling of loss, but starts to speak about the philosophy, that he really didn't die, his soul is going forward, and so many things, but it's so impersonal, because there is the feeling of loss, there is a beloved person, and there is pain, and we have to relate to the pain in some way. And also a few years ago in Hungary, there was one devotee who she was her work was that she was cleaning places, different places around the temple, but she had a bike because this was the way how she traveled between the places. And on one occasion, her bike was stolen. And it was really difficult for her, because these places were so far from one another, but she didn't really have money for public transport. So she shared this story on Facebook, partly because she wanted to share her pain, and the other part was that she was asking for help. And there was someone who just commented under this post that, oh, what might be this karma which resulted this? And it's also not so helpful in this situation. Someone has a difficult situation, and we should try to help. and at least even if we cannot help, just understand the pain of the other person. And yeah, this is what's happening also with Krishna, that we speculate many times. We want to have some kind of profit, like merging into Brahma Jyoti, getting this position of Krishna in some way. But when someone is so impersonal, it doesn't really make the other person happy. It's not pleasing. It's you won't be happy with this. And Krishna also won't be happy with this, because there is no personal relationship, there is no loving exchange, there is no service. So it's not so pleasing to the heart. And just to move to the other direction, what pleases Krishna? Because actually, he says this in Bhagavad Gita, that as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So it's a very interesting to think about this, that if I approach Krishna in a way that I want to use him in some way, if I want to be impersonal with him, then why would I expect him to reciprocate with me in a loving way? So how can I approach him in a way that pleases him, that starts to build this loving relationship? And I heard one very interesting story about this, that there was actually there is a lady called I don't know if I pronounce her name properly, but something like Dia Khan. She lived in Pakistan, and Islamic lady, as far as I know. And for some reasons, she had to leave her country, because in that country, with that religion, it was difficult for a lady to have some kind of career. Yeah. So anyway, she was traveling first to England, but even there, somehow she was chased by these people who couldn't really accept her mood. And in the end, as far as I know, she traveled to the United States. But whatever was important, that she just decided that, okay, it's not possible for me to all the time just to try to escape from these people. I really have to, in a sense, fight back. But the way she wanted to do this was that she started to make interviews with this type of people. She had two different works. One was with neo-Nazi people, and the other was with jihadist people. And so first she approached these neo-Nazi people, trying to make them to have an interview. And, some people already said no to him, but when she approached one of the leaders, he at one point said that, okay, you get 1 hour in a hotel, and come alone. I will also come alone, and you will have 1 hour to speak. And actually, they spoke for 5 hours, and there were some interesting reasons for that. So the lady asked this man why she decided to stay longer, and yeah, so they had a discussion about it. I just don't want to go so much into the details, but the main point was that this lady had a different approach, how she made this interview. One of the things that she just decided that she will listen, and even if she's provoked, she won't react. And she had a different type of questions than others had. So basically, she said that this man shared that previously, whatever interviews he had, usually two type of situations were there. One is there when he dominated the interview, and he could share everything, whatever he wanted. And the other, when others dominated in a way that's stating that this is not right, how bad, whatever he's doing. And in that case, he was the so-called victim, and he answered and spoke in that way. But whatever was the case, he was winning. And this interview was different because this lady, she just decided that, okay, we know what these people are doing. It's not so interesting to speak about that. There is no new in that. The interesting thing is that why they are doing this. And actually, all of her interview was about this, and this was really new. And this is the reason why I'm sharing this, because actually many times we don't really listen to others. And this story really showed how great effect this has on the other person when someone is feeling heard, because slowly, these two people, this neo-Nazi person and this lady, they started to build a relationship, and in the end, actually, that man left that organization. And also this lady had friendly relationships with others, and she said that she could see how much they tried to hate her, but because she was listening to them, and somehow this started to build trust, they just couldn't hate her. And this is, this is only on the material level, this story. But even on the material level, listening has so much power. So it's really, really powerful. And I also have one other story. It was so funny that sometimes, there are people who are sitting in front of their homes and just selling things or selling lemonade or something like that, or others go to the streets and offer free hugs, something like that. And this lady just offered to others that, okay, if you would like to be listened to, I will listen to you. And, at first it sounds a little bit weird, but she shared that actually in one afternoon, she had so many nice conversations, deep conversations with others, because actually people are really, really desperately want to be heard. Want to be listened to, and want to be understood. And this is how we can also approach Krishna, because he's constantly speaking to us. There are the scriptures which are sometimes his direct words to us. Sometimes the words or stories of others who are close to his heart. We can listen to his names. We can listen to his message, which is, whatever is happening to us in our lives is his message to us, his personal message to us. Because, scriptures are to everyone, but when something happens to us, Krishna is privately speaking to me. And the question is there, if I'm willing to listen to him. Because if I decide that I want to listen to him, it shows him that, okay, I'm interested in him. It shows that I would like to approach him. I would like to know him. I would like to know how can I approach him. I would like to hear about things or people, whatever is important to him. And it shows that I would like to learn how can I be someone who is according to his priorities, his likings. So if I'm listening to him, that shows that I'm my love to him. And actually, there is this verse, this famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, this Shri Prahladu Vacha, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atmani Vedanam. So we hear from Bhagavad Gita that devotional service is so important to Krishna. And here we can see that what is the first anga of devotional service is Shravanam. So the translation, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These nine processes are accepted as pure devotional service. So the first thing to do is hearing about Krishna, listening to him, listening to his message, and this makes him happy, actually. And the second, here we can hear about Kirtanam. And I think that's the last one which I will spoke about. So one time I've heard the story from Shubha Vilas Prabhu, and he spoke about that he gave a presentation to some people. It was some kind of marriage celebration, and he spoke about appreciating each other. And he said that at one point, one elderly man just stood up at the end and said that, thanking the presentation, but also asking that, my dear sir, I'm 75 years old and I'm in a marriage for 50 years. And should I still show my appreciation to my wife? I mean, the very fact that I'm still with her shows that I'm appreciating him. So should I show anything extra? Is it really important after such a long time? And Shubha Vilas Prabhu said that at first that, oh, my dear sir, I just have to mention that you have such a beautiful smile. And you can imagine that the man started to smile even more happily. And the Prabhu asked him that, so did it feel good, me saying this? And he said, yes, it really felt good. And then Shubha Vilas Prabhu told him that, but you are smiling for 75 years. And even after 75 years of smiling, if someone tells you that you have such a nice smile, so it makes you happy. So this is the same. Whatever amount of time passed, showing our appreciation is always important and always pleases the other person. And so Kirtanam in this case means that it means also chanting Krishna's names. And this is one way of Kirtanam, but Kirtanam is a more general thing, glorifying the Lord, speaking about whatever he did. And his glorious qualities and pastimes. So it's all Kirtanam, and it shows Krishna that we like to hear about him. We like to hear about what he did, what he's doing. And also, yes, the other thing is that when we cry out his names with feelings, it also pleases him, like, when a child cries out for his mother, "Mom, please help me." So the mother immediately turns to the child with loving feelings. Or when, lovers are together and one is just whispering the name of the other, it pleases the other. So it's really heartwarming. So Krishna is happy when we are chanting his names, because we just turn to him, and it's a very personal type of relationship. And it makes him happy, and it makes us happy. So it's very very nice relationship. And yeah, we could continue with the other things, but time is passing. So I would just like to have some conclusions. One personal story I would also like to share, that it's also from last week. It's, whenever I'm traveling to the temple, something happens. So in this tram station, there are some advertisements, and IKEA had one poster there, and it advertised some bookshelves. And the advertisement said that this bookshelf which connects you. And there was, a grandmother with her grandchild reading for him from a book, and it was very interesting. But after this whole COVID quarantine, lockdown, and everything, we started to value more that we can be connected to others, that we have personal relationships, and so many advertisements are connected to this. But the funny thing was that I was sitting on the tram and just going forward. And when we reached the Danube, the river here in Budapest, so the sun was just starting to get up. I mean, so it was just very little light on the horizon. And, I could see only the silhouettes of the buildings. And somehow in this lightening, the towers of the temples, which were on the shore of the river, they were very much distinguished. I could very much distinguish them from the other buildings, because they were like pointy towers, like pointing towards the sky. And I just had this feeling that, yeah, this previous advertisement was about relationships, but actually these like arrows pointing to the sky, these temple towers actually showing what is real relationship. And so many times we are just falling victims to these flashy, colorful advertisements, and just take these cheap artificial pills instead of the real medicine. And this happens actually here. And this just goes back to the first topic, that if we are willing to really make the effort to connect to Krishna, to place him into the center of our lives, because if we do this, then he will reciprocate. And what way he reciprocates? And this is my last quote for today. It's a very nice narration from Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that when we turn to Krishna, what he feels, this is actually his words. Lord Narayan speaking to Gopakumar, welcome, welcome, my dear boy. I am fortunate, most fortunate to meet you here. For so long, I have been eager to see you. My dear friend, you have passed many lifetimes without paying any attention to me at all. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking perhaps in this lifetime, or this, or this, or this, he will finally turn his face toward me. But I could find no pretext on which to bring you to my abode, dear brother, and still follow the timeless laws that I myself have created. You showed me no mercy, and as I considered this, I grew impatient, full of anxiety to receive your favor. So I transgressed my eternal code of conduct and arranged for you to take your current birth. Dear boy, in that divine district of Govardhan, my most beloved abode, I myself became your guru, known by the name Jayanta. Today you have at last fulfilled the desire I have harbored for so long. Please nourish your happiness and mine by staying here forever. So this is what Krishna feels when we honestly, sincerely turn towards him. But still the question remains, why we turn to him? Do we want his facilities? Do we want to enjoy his energies? Do we want to merge his personal glory in his form of Brahma Jyoti? Or do we really desire only him as a person? So the decision is up to us, but the results will be different. So thank you very much for your attention, and we can open up for discussion.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Such a nice class, quoting from all scriptures and from different verses. Thank you so much, Mataji. Dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments or realization, you can please go ahead. Sorry, Mataji, I think there are no. Yeah, Revati Mataji, please.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this very, very beautiful class. You explained so nicely. I like the last point which you said, keeping Krishna in the center means you explained, like a lot of times I have that, I'm trying to listen, do everything, but I think definitely I'm not keeping Krishna in the center. So, but you said like you always okay, you want to enjoy the facilities, or you want to, merge into effulgence, or you just want Krishna. So always think like that, then, it's so practically, it made me understand. So because most of the time, I think I feel I'm trying to enjoy the facilities. So even though, as your last class was also very good, your intentions might be, pure, but also when it comes to, putting it into action, it may not be 100%. Like we always try to enjoy the facilities, but yes, your intentions also, you want to, have Krishna, So how should Mataji? I find it very difficult being in this material world. We are also trying to enjoy the facilities, but yeah, we also have that intention. We want Krishna.
Mm-hmm. It just reminds me of this yoga ladder, which Krishna speaks about in Bhagavad Gita. So he starts with we should surrender with everything, but Arjuna says that, oh, I'm not capable of that. Then he goes one step lower and lower and lower, and it really shows that. Yeah, we are on different levels, but according to our level, we can check out what is possible on that level. I just remember that when Bhaktividya Purna Maharaj once gave class here in Budapest temple, one Prabhu who was very much in this pujari mood, and he's so sincerely trying to please Krishna, but he said that I really want to meditate while cooking for Krishna, but I'm just not able to do that. And Bhaktividya Purna Maharaj said that, okay, if you cannot offer all the process for Krishna, meditating on him and pleasing him, then offer him the result. So, okay, maybe the whole process I cannot dedicate to Krishna, but then I just focus on that, okay, I will offer him the result. And and that's also a possibility. So we just have to check out whatever is possible for us. Many times, the principle is that, okay, I want to enjoy things, but then, okay, I will enjoy, but previously I connect this thing with Krishna. So, okay, I like to eat, then I cook for Krishna and offer it to him, and then I eat. I like music. So then I engage myself in chanting his names. If I like, creative type of things, like creating nice stuff, then just I can go and make garlands for him or make decorations in the temple. And the basic is this, that when we start our devotional service, we are not able to do everything only for Krishna's pleasure. But then whatever I do, I just somehow try to connect it with Krishna and not enjoy separately from him. And I just need to pay attention that gradually to purify these services, which means that, okay, I try to offer everything to Krishna, which I like. But due course of time, I have to accept also services which I may not like so much, but I know that Krishna wants it in some way. Maybe my authorities tell me that it's important to be done, and then okay, I will also do things which I may not like so much, but Krishna likes them, so I do them, and this also shows Krishna that, okay, this is surely not about my likings, because I don't like it, I like to do it, but it's connected with him, and this is surely for his pleasure. And for some years, I remember that because I was very much into this kirtan type of services, I did many things connected to this, or sometimes I translated from English to Hungarian, but only, whatever I was inspired by. And years passed, and I just realized that, okay, but I like this, but do I surrender in any way that other devotees ask me to do? And am I willing to do that? And I realized that if I just follow other devotees, the temple leadership, and try to engage myself in those types of services which they give to me, which are necessary to be done, then it's a more sure way to do something which is closer to pure devotional service. Because pure devotional service is when I don't want any benefit. But when I choose my services, obviously there are my likings inside that. But when someone gives something to me and I just accept it, okay, I will do. Obviously, if I can, because many times maybe I'm too busy or don't have the qualities or something like that. But I do everything I can. In that case, it's more likely will be with a pure intention. So in the beginning, we just have to connect our actions somehow with Krishna, but gradually we have to pay attention to purify our intentions and be more and more selfless, and even doing things which are not according to our likings. I don't know, did this answer in some way your question?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So as you said, yes, we are trying to do dovetailing everything to please Krishna. But we do have still that, enjoying tendency. As you said, gradually it will go away. We need to just keep doing it. And also things that which we don't like also we have to do. That also shows our love for Krishna. Yeah. Yes, trying, Mataji, doing, yeah.
And also prayer is always so useful. So many times I feel that I don't feel being able to do something. Please, Krishna, help me. because sometimes it's just I just feel it impossible, but with Krishna anything is possible. And actually, that is humility, to understand that without him, I'm not capable of anything. But with him, everything is possible.
Yes, Mataji, very true. Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji, for this detailed explanation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Scarlett Mataji, in that question.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj Chandramani and
Hare
all
Krishna.
glories to you. Thank you very much for this class. I can only say things about things that about situation that I know 100% of, not that I heard or anything. I just tell what I have been experiencing and so on. I have been seeker very long time. As long as I remember, maybe I was 7, 8 years old, and I always was wondering what is the old thing, why is the meaning of things, and so on and so on and so on. And I tried study many beliefs, spirituality, and so on. I didn't come across the Bhagavad Gita until very recently. So it means that more than half of my life, I have been seeking, I have been praying, I have been asking. But then I got it. What I wonder, because in all the script that I'm reading and so on, it seems like it's planned. It was not time for me to learn it then. Even though I was seeking, even though I was praying about it, it was not time. It was not written for me that to know about it then, but I get to know it now. And still, even I try to do everything, devotional service that I can, because I'm going with walker, I have the problem with everything, my health. But anyway, what I can. If I do which I have learned that even reading, even studying Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, also this is devotional and chanting and so on. So I do my best to do everything that I can. But what I have understand that even though I do all this, it doesn't mean that I'm going to go back to the Godhead. But eventually, maybe next life, or maybe 5 life from 5 life later. You understand what I mean? That's what I have got understanding of. Not that that if I had, even if I wanted, which I wanted very much, I didn't get it. Even though I pray for it, I come from the war country. So you can understand how much I was asking, please, God, Creator, tell me, what is that? What should I do? What is it? Why I'm here? I didn't get it until now. So I don't mean anything bad about it. What I mean, isn't it that it was not written for me then? In that time, it was written that I would learn about it, but later. You know what I mean?
I think I understand. Do you mean that you would like to understand why you didn't get this possibility before?
No, I mean to say, it seems like it's decided already for me. It was decided for me. It was written for me that, no, it's not now. It's not now. You're not going to get to know about it now. Much later. Even though I was, you know what I mean? Have I understood it wrong?
No, I don't think it's wrong, because everything, whatever happens to us, is decided. So nothing is by chance. Everything is by Krishna's divine arrangement. It's just sometimes we don't see why it happens. And
that is what I mean. So, okay, everything is arranged by Krishna. It's exactly the way he wanted. Then I wonder, is it really my choice?
Sorry, now
is it really my choice that I could decide it to do the one thing, not the other, to practice in the one way, not the other? Is it really my choice, or is it even this is arranged? That I wonder. Because he says, forgiveness I give you, forgiveness I give you, remembering I give you, I have control over everything. So if he said it, Lord Krishna saying, itself in Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, everything is under my control. So some people get forgetfulness. They don't get to remember something. So you know what I mean? So I was dyslexic here. I couldn't read anything. I was the worst case scenario, but I didn't get to read it before I got Bhagavad Gita. Even though I tried my best to read, to understand the text, to see if I can see the text, how this, I couldn't. But I got to do it afterwards because I prayed. Goddess Saraswati, when I learned about it in Bhagavad Gita, then I prayed, Goddess Saraswati, please help me. I want to read this. I don't know. I can't read it. I have it, but I can't read it. Please help me to read this. Then I got it. So what I mean is, because Lord Krishna says everything is under my control, nothing happened without my permission. So maybe we go through things because Krishna wanted. Isn't it so?
It just reminded me lately, I read again about who is the doer in our lives. And
who is what? I didn't hear.
Doer.
Yes.
Who's doing things in our lives.
Doer. Okay.
So actually, there are three doers, and we are one of them, but there are other two doers. One is us as spirit souls, and whatever we can do is not more than we desire things. This is what we can do. The second doer is the material modes of nature. And whatever we desire, these material modes of nature carry out. So this is how our desires manifest in the material world. And the third doer is Krishna as super soul in our hearts. And what he does is he approves or not approves. So our responsibility is what we desire. And then Krishna approves or not approves. And if he approves, then the material modes of nature carry it out. So our free will is what we desire, actually. And whatever we desire will happen eventually when our karma lets us to do so. And when Krishna sees it appropriate to happen. So we always have the free will to desire whatever we want to do. And in due course of time, according to Krishna's will, it will happen, or well, if we desire it, then it will happen. But we don't know when it happens. So we have our free will. It's just we are only one part of the whole picture.
Okay.
Is it helpful? You don't seem to be satisfied with the answer.
It's okay. I still I still don't get it. Things happen according to a plan. That was that I had got understanding from all what I read. And believe me, I do nothing but the reading. I promise you. It's not that I'm going out and partying to meet my friend to go and drink coffee in the coffee chair. Nothing like that. I even say to my children, I don't have time. Can I will call you later. I can't talk to till even then I don't give them time to my children. But anyway, what I mean of everything it really feels that it was planned that I now get to read it. It's not my choice. It was not because I choose to, because it was time for me now. I was walking, but some power made me, I promise you, I don't say it just to say it's true. Some power made me to change my direction, go to the store, that this store only was there for 1 week. Next week, when I went to that store didn't exist. I swear that is true. And there I got the Bhagavad Gita. I was not looking for a book. It was not that I chose to go to the store because I want to buy a book. It was nothing like that. I was going to long walking.
Yeah, but in your situation, you consider these two things as separate happenings, that you consider that you had this desire of searching for God, and you consider this as separate thing that you found Bhagavad Gita. But actually, as I see, sorry, it's just my understanding, I might be wrong, but you had the desire, but and as a spirit soul, you had the desire, but it couldn't manifest because at that time, Krishna didn't give his approval because he's one of the doers. And when he gave his approval, that happened later. And then the material modes of nature carried out that you had to see this store, which wasn't there before and after, and then you found Bhagavad Gita. So I would just suggest that connect these two things, your desire and that you found Bhagavad Gita, because it might be that your desire invoked this happening later, that you found Bhagavad Gita. It's just time was separating these two things.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, thank you so much for the discussion. Yeah, I just want to add, Scarlett Mataji, is it okay if I add something? So I just want to say that as Radha Vinodini Mataji said, it's our free will also sometimes, which helps us to go towards Krishna. Suppose we get a lot of opportunities, but we don't take them seriously. So as per my experience, it happened to me like that. In 2007, we first went to New Vrindavan, and we came in touch with Srila Prabhupada, and we saw Palace of Gold. We just went like a normal temple. That was the first thing. And after that, again, after some years, some devotees came to our house and gave Bhagavad Gita and everything, and chanting beads and everything. But we kept it aside. We didn't take it seriously. After 2013 onwards, we had we know some devotees, and they were calling us. We didn't go until 2016. So 2016 was the turning point where we took it seriously, and then we started our journey in Krishna consciousness. So that I was telling that we got so many opportunities, and Krishna is sending so many opportunities, and we didn't take it up seriously at that time. So I was thinking like Krishna is showing his mercy in that way, and we were not ready to take it, or we didn't, and also it's our free will whether to turn towards him or not. And also I think Krishna is waiting for a maturity to come in our minds or in our life, where we'll be able to take up Krishna consciousness, because everybody has their own time, right? So we can't say that immediately it's our past karmas, like whatever we have, our desires. So suppose I have a desire of enjoying material life strongly, so then definitely, even though devotees are there, we don't take up. But as our desires, material desires, go down and down, that's the point where we'll take up spirituality. So maybe that's what happened with you also, even though you were seeking since so many years. But that was not the right time where you are going to absorb this knowledge, because that desire, strong desire should be there. And also, that's what in scriptures also says that, right? So there are three kinds of persons who approach Krishna, like who are in distress, who are finding answers. So like that. So I was in the distress maybe, so that's why I found Krishna. But you are seeking answers, you are seeking truth. That's why you found Krishna. So until the desire becomes very strong, so it doesn't happen. And that's the point where it's a turning point for us. So
Thank you.
Hope you understood, or I just want to share my own experience in this.
It's okay. It's okay.
Because
it's okay.
I was always thinking
I can understand. I can understand what you say, but the different. I feel the different is you got many signal that you got it, but you were not ready. But then it happened something that you get ready. From my side, it was not that I asked for anything else. I was young and I was not looking for boyfriend or anything. I was 8 years old and I still wondered things. So that's why there is some difference there, but still I can understand you. With all your respect, I can understand you. It's different, of course, how much you want it but for me, in my experience, it's almost the way no, you have some things you have to go through first. Call it, you have some karma, you have first to go through that so that you have done that before you are eligible to get this. So for me, it's almost like that. For instance, we went through the war, and it was almost a glass went breakdown and was near to come to the head of my child. So I mean, we have gone through so many things during time, and that's why I mean, it could be that even though I desired, even though I prayed for it, even though I really wanted it, still Krishna thought, no, it's not time for you. You have to go through some things before you are going to come to me.
Yes, definitely.
So you understand what I mean? So they could be this way also. So and I love it. I believe in it. I'm not going to leave it there.
Yeah, those all experiences led to Krishna consciousness, Mataji. So that's what I feel like. So we have to, as you said, we have to face what we have to face. Okay, we have to go through that. So that is our karma. So Krishna has kept a specific time for us. So that's what I believe. Like, so I came very late. I always regret that in 2007 itself, if I took it seriously, or otherwise I started inquiring, then maybe in 1 or 2 years I would have become serious. But I didn't do that. So it took 10 years or 9 years to come into Krishna consciousness, even though I know the devotees. So I unnecessarily wasted so many years, right? So that's why I feel very bad about that. But thinking about the past is not useful anymore, but I suggest you to just move on and take it as a Krishna's mercy, Mataji. That's all.
Okay, can I ask you about you mentioned something about course to learn, to study. Is it possible that you know any courses that I can go to?
Courses like there are Bhakti Shastri courses, Mataji.
Yes, but where do I
think
write?
Usually there are some from Mayapur Institute, there is online, and some bhakticourses.com, there is online. But you can ask your local centers for that. They also may conduct with some devotees Bhakti Shastri courses. So that is systematic study of 4 books like Bhagavad Gita and Nectar of Instruction, Ishopanishad, and Nectar of Devotion. So these 4 books we study in Bhakti Shastri course.
I studied them, but still I think it's better that I go to some courses and not only read by myself, but to go to the courses. So
there you will have to write exams, and they'll test you and they'll give a certificate. So, and it's like a systematic study with the guidance.
Exactly. Okay. Bhakti courses,
Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Radha Vinodini Mataji, sorry, I took yes.
No, thank you very much. It was interesting to listen to your experiences because every devotees have so different
stories, yes,
ways how they join Krishna consciousness. So
that's why maybe it's all like immediately when we started in Krishna consciousness, I was so fired up, and we took it very seriously from the day one, and we started chanting in 2 months, or 1 month itself, I think. I was asking, like, why nobody is telling me to chant? I was asking them, oh, shall I chant? Shall I chant? Then I said, oh, why not? You can chant. They were telling. I was so curious, and I was asking them, why everybody are doing, they are not telling me to chant. Because they were thinking that I am very new. If they tell me, like, in the first day itself, I may not come. So and then I was itself asking, like, can I chant what you are doing? I am doing. Can I do that? Oh, no problem. You can do that. So like that, I started Mataji. So it was very, and later I realized, oh, I have Bhagavad Gita at home. Oh, I have chanting beads at home. I didn't even look at them. Whenever we move houses, we used to sincerely pack them in a separate box and keep them with all the altar items. So that's all. But someday it worked as a time bomb, and so we could get Mataji in the thing, actually. So yeah,
it's funny because if I just think back, even in my childhood, I had some subtle, very subtle things from Krishna, and I didn't even realize that. For example, there was one machine which we could use to project these different kind of fairy tales and stuff, pictures on the wall. And I never know how we got one of Ramayana, because my parents, they were not interested in Indian culture or anything. I also remember that once I found a small paper with the Mahamantra on it, and I had this, it has such an esoteric feeling, and I wasn't really into that. And even when I went to university, and during winter time, actually it was probably the Prabhupada Marathon, someone came to me on the street, and he said that, I'm a monk, I'm collecting donations. And I really thought that he's a Christian monk, and I gave some money, and then I got a book, and I just realized, oh my God, I was cheated, and I was really angry about it and left. and even some years passed, and later somehow Krishna pushed me into this situation, and now I'm happy about it. But there were so many small things there even before, and somehow I just didn't react. But I wasn't even question what those things were, and I don't even know where those books may be, which I got on the street.
Yes,
that was the time. That was the time for you. Krishna thought, now is the time. Now you are going to come to me.
And in my situation, it's interesting, because in my situation, I didn't feel that this is the time. But Krishna thought, and just
that's true.
I was forced into it.
Exactly.
Once it starts, then only we'll realize Mataji.
Exactly. It's Krishna. Krishna wants it his way. That is all. We should accept it and play with him.
Yeah, Krishna gave Scarlet Mataji to us, so she's asking so many interesting questions.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I want to learn.
Because of your questions, I
don't mean anything. I promise. I swear. I just want to learn to do it correctly. Please forgive me.
No.
Don't be angry.
Nothing wrong in that, Mataji.
I need to learn.
We'll look forward for your questions. Daily, I'll be thinking like Scarlet Mataji.
Thank you for your questions.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please forgive me. Please.
No.
I need to learn. I really need to do that correctly.
Yes,
I don't want to
we are all learning. Yes. Guru Maharaj is there mercifully to answer our questions, and our wonderful speakers are there.
Yes. And thank you for today's class. It was very good. Thank you.
Yes.
I learned. I promise I learned.
Everything is Krishna's and Guru Maharaj's mercy. I'm just in the way, but try not to be so much in the way.
No, you are not. You were wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So we'll end the call here for today. We'll all meet tomorrow. Thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyavcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Radha Vinodini Mataji ki jai.
Jai.
Bhaktavinda ki jai.
Jai. Thank you very much.